My life and the things I'm after is all so mine. And until then, I will wait for the world to give a sign. Oh, the real deal, reckless feeling. Well, this is Life Leone. I'm Life, this is Michael, and we're here in New York. We just played downstairs, and glad to be with you. Ever since I was about 12 years old and just got totally obsessed with music, like a lot of people do. I mean, I kind of wanted to learn how to play everything, and I kind of just wanted to play music with anybody that wanted to do it. Mike and I, we started something up as soon as we met called the Ross C Party. We started up the Life Leone project and just said, you know what, let's just do it as loud as we want to do it. Let's do it however it sounds the coolest to us, and then we'll just see what happens. I don't know, maybe people will hate it, but let's make it just like, let's do it from the heart and however we want to do it. And that's where we're at now. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, that's all right. You took it the right direction. And coming from the similar boat of just growing up and wanting to play everything, play with everyone, and then I think for me, stylistically, I think things changed a lot, me and Life, and figuring out how to simplify things and play for the song and play with intensity, and that just grew and grew and grew, and that's what I'm sitting behind there thinking.
Yeah, people call it fuzz rock. From a real true guitar perspective, or like a really accurate perspective, it's not really fuzz rock at all, but in some other way, maybe in a more metaphorical sense, I can see how people hear it and call it fuzz rock, because it just sort of has a lot of vibrations going on. I don't know, what do you think? Because you're not a guitar player, so I wonder if that's occurred to you.
I think I would call it that. I guess maybe from being a listener and thinking about just the overwhelming presence of the guitar, and you have a note that sustains, and you have...
it sounds fuzzy, yeah.
That fuzzy aspect, yeah, as simplified as you can put it.
Yeah, we're kind of fuzzy.
Yeah, we are. I don't know.
Maybe it's that. Admittedly, I make things out of other things that other people made. You know, like I like to just find pieces of things, put them together. So the amplifier I was playing out of is an old guitar head that I love the sound of, but and I kind of wired it up to play it through a Fender Twin, but to play it through just the speakers in the Twin. It was kind of a hassle to drag it around. And so I then took apart the head and took apart the Twin and swapped the speakers out and kind of wired it all myself. I also made some guitars that way when I was in Asia. Yeah, one of my closest friends lives in Bangkok, and I was spending some time with him there, and ended up in Vietnam, and kind of was staying indefinitely, and started finding these old guitars that the Soviets had built when there was a trade embargo with the U.S. They couldn't. They wanted to play rock and roll, but they couldn't get Gibsons. They couldn't get Fender, they couldn't get any of those guitars. So the Soviets were building these really weird versions of Gibsons, and most of them were kind of hand built, really beautiful guitars. They weren't really coming off a factory line. It was like one guy building these guitars, and so I did for a while. Got really into collecting all these Soviet guitars. Yeah, you don't want to hear the guitars that I built, but they look pretty cool.
Yeah, this is the first time that we're actually crossing the entire states. We did an initial clockwise around just a half of the states, going about as far as Houston, and now this is our first time venturing all the way to the East Coast. And this is for me, feels like we're most at home right now, where we can spend 5+ weeks on the road, spend time together, getting to know each other even more, developing that relationship, developing our presence on stage as a unit. And I think it's settling more than ever right now. Mm-hmm. Part of that is the change of scenery, the different places, and then just the amount of time that we have together.
Yeah, we were out for about 3 weeks at the beginning of the year, and in the days right before we got home, everybody thought, why are we going home? We could just, everybody just wanted to stay out. So we're out for twice as long this time. It's about 6 weeks total. It's the first U.S. tour as a whole. The furthest point was Providence, which we played just before New York. And none of us had ever been to Providence before, and it marked the exact halfway point on the calendar and the furthest point from home. And in every way, it was kind of like, and a place that none of us had ever been. It was like really like being on the dark side of the moon. But I love Providence. That was a great stop.
We've seen a lot of dark sides on this trip as far as places that we wouldn't find ourselves normally.
That's true. So we're driving around this old school bus. That was fun. That was like, it was in the midst of a 12-hour drive. We still took 2 hours out of our way just to go see something, other than a bar.
Yeah, exactly. Also, the other thing is, when you're on the road and you're spending your time out there and going from venue to venue, we don't actually get time to enjoy the cities that we stay in. And it was a blessing to be here in New York for 2 days to have some time. And Niagara Falls was one of those where we had a day off, and it was us saying, let's go do a touristy sightseeing thing and enjoy more than just the inside of a venue and sharing the music with people. And yeah, it was fun.
I bought a school bus from Fayetteville, Tennessee. It's a 33-foot full-blown school bus that drove it back to California, and we gutted it out and we painted it red and made it home. And we really we live in it when we're on the road. Well, I think we've stayed in it every single night of this tour. Yeah, it's a good time.
Part of it I was going to say is just sharing what's so important to what's creating the band right now and what our life is all about. And when we're inside that bus, it's just we're proud of it. I think there's a part of us that's our home right now. And
yeah, it is. It's like that bus is kind of like an instrument that doesn't make it to the stage. It's like a crucial part of the band and the tour, and it also and all of us took a lot of time building it out and painting it, and we call him Sweet Tea on the road. He's a sweet talk guy. Anytime something comes up, it's like, Sweet Tea, go in and see if you can see if they'll let us park in front of their driveway. And yeah, Sweet Tea is a smile and a wink, and
just turn on the charm. And unfortunately, there's been a time or two when I wasn't there, and we pull into a spot for the night, and can we get a spot in your RV park? No, we don't take buses.
Without Sweet Tea, it's just no. But yeah, we're glad to have you. First thing that Life Leone put out, it's a 6-song EP, and it's pretty brief, but we love the 12-inch format. That they told us at the press, they're like, you can put all this on a 10-inch, you'll be fine. But there's something about the physicality of a 12-inch record that was worth spending a little extra money on. That record is just meant to be straight and to the point, and that introduces the project and the band, and I hope everybody likes all the songs, and we'll have more on the way.
Yeah, I think as excited as we are about what's been done on there, there's a huge amount of excitement on what's to come and what we're doing now and things that we have yet to record, either yet to play, yet to release, and all these kinds of things that we're looking forward to getting more things out there.
Yeah, well, I think maybe at some point we'll do a full-length record as like a labor of love. But for now, we're just going to keep kicking out music. 2 shining moments that come to mind about this release are probably the first song is "This Love," which was the first song that I wrote with this lineup in mind and this guitar sound in mind, sort of the idea of this project in mind, and it's just one of my favorite things that I've written in a while. That's a shining moment. And then also the cover of that record is a painting. Is like a really large format painting that I did. And painting is not something I've ever made any money off of. It's like something I just love to do. My mom is a painter, And so that's kind of like the first time that I've ever shown a painting in public is the cover of that record. So I'm kind of proud of that too.
Yeah.
What shines for you?
I'd say of the tracks involved there, Lonely Teacher. And what's funny about that is coming from a drummer's point of view, it's the most simplistic drums that you could put on a song. And it just matches the intensity of the song, and it's playing for the song. And all of these are written in a way that are serving a purpose as a whole and not as the individual parts. And for me personally, for my playing style, that's what this album encompasses. It's just making it concise, making it with conviction, and making it straightforward and pure and organic.